Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today you are joining me in the little dinky Toyota Yaris that I've had now for about a month. This morning I'm on my way to Toyota, my local dealership, to get a health check done on this car, only because I've had this car for about a month. It's performing as good as it feels. But just for my own kind of peace of mind, I just want to get a health check done, and as part of that health check they're going to go over like things like brakes and suspension and the underside of the car, which I've not really seen, so all that good stuff. A bit like a kind of like a mini MOT, I suppose it is. I've had this car for about a month. I haven't really done much content on this car just because I've been quite busy, but I am gonna start doing some content on this car. I've already done a few little light mods to it, so we'll go over them and the future plans with this car. Now some of you guys might be thinking, why are you getting so excited about this little Toyota Yaris when you've got an M4 and a Porsche Macan? And the reason for that is this car is my daily. My daily used to be my M4, but now that I'm doing some stupid miles per day every time I'm out and about, this car kind of fits the bill a bit better. And also the M4 kind of gets a bit boring to drive, like when you're just stuck in traffic. And now that I'm going out in that car on a weekend, it makes complete more sense. It just feels like a toy rather than a commuter-mobile, if that kind of makes sense. So yeah, that's the plan with the M4. It's not gone anywhere, it's still there. I've also had some of you guys kind of saying, why on earth are you driving like a Toyota Yaris when you dress up in a suit and go to work and all that? I really don't give a crap about that, I'll be honest. Like, I'm not a type of person that looks into statuses and kind of says, yeah, you know what, this is the car that I should own, and this car is like not good enough for me, just because of my job title. That really doesn't bother me at all. So yeah, the idea today is I'm just going to go over to Toyota, get a health check done, and hopefully give you some findings as to how bad this car is or how good it actually is. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on beneath the car. It feels good to me, but yeah, let's just cut to the chase, eh? So I've just got my car back from Toyota, my local dealership, and they've given me like a health report over here, and it kind of shows some issues with my car and some things that I need to rectify straight away. And other things which I should just keep a kind of like an advisory look out for, and then other things that are absolutely fine. This car is about 12 years old. It's got what's the mileage on this car? It's got 86,000 miles. I've done about 1,000 miles since I've owned the car, just like commuting and whatnot, and it's actually not too bad compared to how I was expecting the car to be of this age. I've not really owned anything as old as this. I've owned like a Mini Cooper S, which was like my last kind of old car, but that was a bit more kind of a bit more of an enthusiast car, so it was looked after a little bit better than cars of that age, generally speaking. But this one is obviously like a little donkey, so people will just use this car as a daily thing. Exactly why I bought this car. So most of the things on this, like wipers, lamps, seat belts, all of that stuff, windows, lights, like I say, door locks, everything is all green, which means visually they're okay. The things that are, and I'll show you this report anyway, the few things that do need addressing are, let's go back to it. The check clutch foot handbrake, that's an advisory. The clutch pedal is low. Now I asked them, what does that mean, clutch pedal is low? And all they've said to me is the bite point of the clutch seems to be quite low. It should be a little bit higher, and it just needs readjusting. Personally, I find it absolutely fine. I don't know where it should be, but it's not too high, which would indicate that the clutch is slipping. And I've never had a problem with the bite point of this car, so I don't know why they've put that as an advisory, but it seems to be fine. I've never had issues with stalling the car, letting the clutch out too quick, so that to me seems to be fine. Other advisory items on here are the rear suspension. It says both rear coil springs are corroded, and it says excessively. When I had a chat with the service advisor, he did say to me that it's not going to fail an MOT. They're not cracked or anything. It's something to keep an eye on. I might get them done at some point, but it's like an advisory just to keep a lookout for. And tires as well. The front tires, they've got a tread of 4, 5 and 3.6, and then on the near side front it's 3.2, 5 and 3.2. so the budget tires, I don't expect them to last too long. Can't imagine that's going to be expensive to kind of replace. Rear ones are absolutely fine. This is a front wheel drive car, so obviously the front ones are going to wear out a little bit quicker than the rears. Rears are at 5.5 across the tread pattern. The other thing I need to address urgently are the front brakes. Now this car's got drum brakes on the rear. I don't know, they've not measured those. It says that it's not been checked, but the front brakes need addressing. The front brake pads are 2mm, and the one of the front brake discs is worn, and that would need replacing. So I kind of expected that, because when I'm driving this car and you brake in, it does feel like it's a bit spongy. So that was something that I was going to address anyway. And look, it's started to rain now as well. So overall, I don't think it's a bad report. I don't think it's a bad car. It's not in a bad nick either. So, you know, I think there's a few things that do need addressing outside of this report. Like, for example, although they said that the wipers are fine, they do make a bit of a horrible noise when they're trying to wash the screen away, and I guess that could be just because of the wiper blades are a little bit perished maybe. But apart from that, it's actually not a bad car at all. And like my Mini Cooper S, you know, that was a lot older and things in that were just getting sort of perished quite quickly, whereas with this one, it's a bit younger than that car. So, you know, I suppose it has been well looked after as well, and it's got what, 80,000 miles compared to, you know, 130 that the Mini had. So, you know, this as a complete daily, as a car that I wouldn't say I could like abuse, because I don't intend to. It's got to be reliable for me to carry out my commute to work and whatnot. So I do think that it's quite a good buy. You know, and in this kind of like say condition, it's pretty much exactly where this report comes out to be. So I'm quite impressed. With the brakes, I mean, Toyota are giving me a price. They said that the pads, if I just want to do the pads, it's £130 supplied and fitted, and the pads and discs are £255. So in all honesty, I'll probably get them done locally. I mean, I'm sure I can pick up the parts for, you know, something like this. Is not really a specialist car anyway, so I can probably just pick those parts up, the brakes and discs, for, you know, probably 130 quid fitted and supplied. So yeah, overall, let me know what you think of this car. I know it's not the most inspiring car to actually own, but it's doing its duty as a little runabout, exactly why I bought this car. So I'm quite happy with it. And yeah, just let me know what you think and what I should be doing. The things I have done to this car, I have had the rear windows tinted, and I do think that they do look quite nice, and they do set the car off a little bit more. Things I've got planned with this car, I mean, I'm not going to turn it into like a complete race car or anything, but I think a few things I'm going to do to it is, I think the wheels, I might get them refurbed, because I think they just let the car down a little bit. If you got any ideas, and if you own one of these cars, let me know what you've done, if you know, kind of modified it to a point. So guys, what do you think of the exhaust? Shall I put on like say a twin exit tip on that, or shall I do something with the exhaust, like go for like a sprint exhaust or something? Because I think the rear end of this car does look quite nice with like obviously the spoiler, that tow bar, but the exhaust, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. But and also with the tints as well, what do you think of it, how it looks now? Because I think it looks pretty decent. Gives it a little bit more kind of road cred. And also, do you think I should go for the wind deflectors as well on this, you know, give it that nice sort of road cred? So I don't really have huge intentions of like modifying this car. It's serving a purpose. Like I say, I'll get the wheels refurbed. I have tidied up the engine bay a little bit because it was really filthy. So yeah, as you can see here, it's kind of tidied up. It's not the most powerful engine. It is a 1.3 with about what, 85 odd horsepower or something like that. Apart from that, you know, the car is quite tidy. I've thrown like a bucket of water over it, so it looks fairly clean. So yeah, it's serving quite a good purpose. The air conditioning does need filling up. All the electrics work. The steering seems to be fine, quite light as well. If you found this video informative, useful, if you own one of these cars and you like what I'm doing with it, then yeah, give it a like, subscribe, share, comment in the comment section below, and hopefully guys, I'll see you on the next one. Take care, bye.